Oh, hey, Belly. Oh, you're such a good girl. Let's open these up, Bella. Let's open these up. All right. AlphaFly 3s. We're going to unbox them today, finally. I've had these for a while now, well over a month. I got these to run the Boston Marathon in, but unfortunately I got injured and I wasn't able to run the Boston Marathon as planned. I had to pull the plug on that just a few days before I was going to jump on a plane and head out to Boston. So now they are my Chicago Marathon racing shoes. So at least that's the plan. That's the plan at this point. So yes, I've had these for a while. It's the Nike AlphaFly 3s, but I haven't really had a chance to do much with them. You know, I took them out of the box for the first time today, and very impressed, very impressed. So again, this is going to be an unboxing video. So if you're here and you're looking for a full running shoe review, that's going to come a little bit later on down the road once I've had an opportunity to put some miles in these. And that won't happen until I get healed up from the injuries that I'm currently recovering from, or from the injury that I'm currently recovering from. But when you first open up the box, you're gonna find this nice drawstring bag. I like this. I like the fact that they've included this. They have in other versions of their shoes as well, but I'm glad to see that they continued that practice because these are really nice. These are really nice. You know, you can store your shoes in these to carry them down to the track or wherever it is that you might be running if you want to have a different pair on to get there, which is oftentimes what I do if I'm going to go down and do some, work on my high school track or even just, on a different area where I got to jump in my car and drive there, then I'm not going to probably wear these to drive my car in, right? So you got to have a way to carry them around. And this works good. This works good. So enough about the bag. Now, the first thing I noticed when I pulled these out of the box is just how lightweight they are. For a US men's size 9, which is what I wear, they come in at just 7 ounces on my scales here. So let's fire up the scales and we're going to put those on here. And so 7 ounces or 197 grams. Looks like it's kind of teetering between 197 and 198 grams. So ultra lightweight. And you know that, you feel it the first time you pull these up out of the box. They don't feel like anything. It doesn't feel like you're really holding on to anything. They're just that lightweight. The other thing that I noticed right away is the upper material. It seems to be a bit softer to me than maybe some of the previous versions of the shoe. It's Atom Knit 3.0. It's still going to be super breathable. You can see right through it. It's translucent. So lots of, I wouldn't say perforations. It's just that material is kind of like a screen door material, right? So it just allows the air to flow, which I really do appreciate. And I put tons and tons of miles in the original version as well as the second version of the shoe. In fact, I ran the original version of the shoe basically right into the ground. I overran in these. I just loved them. I put tons and tons of miles on them. I ended up taking them apart to kind of see what those air units look like up front because that's what I had trouble with. As I had popped one of the air units on a long run right before the Boston Marathon in 2023, so last year. So put lots of miles on those, and I have probably an equal number of miles on the second version as well that I ended up using mainly for a training shoe. So, and I think that these are the best of the 3 so far. Now, again, that's just my first impressions of unboxing them, but given how lightweight they are, the feel of the upper, I did put these on my feet, kind of walked around a little bit, kind of test out the fit that way. And the lacing system, it's kind of the same, really. I have the same issues now. I don't know if it's because I have a bit more narrow foot or it doesn't take up quite as much volume, but up at the start of the lace enclosure system, I have to really cinch that down. I mean, that material gets pulled in pretty tight and gets kind of puckered up. And then, it does get a little better as I go up through to the midfoot section of the shoe. I don't think I'm going to have any problems getting locked in to these. The only thing that I would note is that when I put these on for the first time, and like I said, I was just kind of walking around in them, I did feel like there was a little extra space in the heel cup for me. So I'll be interested once I have a chance to run in these, whether or not that's going to cause any kind of issues or not. It's hard to know at this point. it didn't feel uncomfortable to me. I could just feel though that my heel wasn't seated in there maybe as tightly as I would like it to be. Now that some of that might just come with over time with experience in using these and how I lace these down. But there's no way to put a heel lock knot in these. There wasn't in the previous versions either. But I did, I was able to obviously put lots and lots of miles in those. So I did figure it out, and I'm confident that I'll be able to figure out how to get locked in with these as well. But again, it's going to just take a little bit of time and use. It's going to take some use. It is just kind of this all one unit. There's no separate tongue here, so you're going to just kind of slide your foot in. Again, that really hasn't changed. They have about the equal amount of padding that we saw in the second version of the shoe back in the heel collar. So I anticipate that being pretty comfortable. I don't see there being really any big issues there. And again, it has this little kind of pull tab back here. Same as what we've seen in the past. I think the real big difference is just in the midsole foam design. They're still using ZoomX foam. They still have the air units up in the forefoot of the shoe. They went back to a 40 mil stack height in the heel and 32 up here. So they have an 8 millimeter offset, which is what the original version was. I'm excited. I'm super excited. I flipped these over and you can see that Flyplate in here. I don't know about this cutout. I'm sure that it's there not just to reduce weight, but to maybe give you a little bit more cushion and bounce off of that design. But I can foresee maybe getting some stones or things caught in there, because that's what's happened to me in the past. With these shoes up in the forefoot here, they had that little cutout. I was always getting stones kind of caught in there, and a few times, that it was banging up against there, and I had to stop and pop the stone out, and it did do a little bit of damage to that plate. It didn't bust it, but it scraped it up a little bit. So that's something that I noticed with the second version of the shoe. And then, this was my second pair of the first version. Now these, I just absolutely love these. These have been my favorite marathon racing shoe. I ran all 3 world major marathons here in the U.S. in this one pair. So it was Boston, Chicago, and then New York, and absolutely loved them. And you know what? They're still holding up pretty well. They're still holding up pretty good. I could still put some training miles in these for sure. I wouldn't run another marathon. I wouldn't try to race another marathon in these. But man, if these hold up like the first version did, I'm going to be really excited about that. So I'm super excited. They feel terrific. I had them on my feet, again, not to run in, but just to kind of walk around, get a sense for the fit. I think that these are going to be just absolutely awesome. Now they're $285 US, so they're not cheap. Are they going to be worth it? Well, time's going to tell. But like I said, I definitely got my money's worth out of the first version. And now the second version, I didn't care for as much. They seemed a little slower to me. A little bit heavier to me. In fact, you can feel there's a little bit of weight difference. I don't recall exactly how much these do weigh, but I can tell that they are a little bit heavier. Well, you know what? I got my scales here. Let's see if I can put these on the scales. And I got it set to grams at the moment. And my laces are kind of flopping around. See if we can get those included. So 221 grams. Now these were 197, bordering on 198. So, a bit heavier, and slower. I didn't feel like I could run as fast in these. So, but I did like training in them. I liked running, just putting some miles in them, but it's not a shoe that I wanted to pick up on race day necessarily. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. Oh, and the first version, the one issue that I had with these, and this was from my original pair, that I overtrained in these, and what happened was I ended up popping one of the air units up in the forefoot of the shoe, and you can see I've kind of cut it up to see what those air units look like on the inside, which is really interesting, by the way. It's kind of a baffle material that's in there. So I've got this like light cloth that's in there, almost like a terry style cloth. So it's pretty interesting on the design. Love the pop that you get off those air units, but the rubber that was protecting it on the first version just wore so thin that it eventually just popped that air unit, and there wasn't any integrity left. And so what happened is I ended up getting tendonitis in my ankle after a run, just a few weeks. Actually, I think it was about 10 days. I'm not sure. It was early. It was really close. to the 2023 Boston Marathon. So I ended up having to run that with tendonitis in my ankle. So not the fault of the shoe. That's all on the runner. It's all on the runner. I need to pay more attention to what I'm doing, I guess, or the condition of the shoes that I'm running in. But when looking at these, they've got a pretty substantial amount of rubber between, the outsole and the air units up here. So I think the AirPods are going to be a bit more protected. And I do like that it's more of a continuous feed here instead of having that cutout. You got that cut that they have had in the first version, the second version of the shoe. And so when I'm walking around, I can feel that it just seems to be a bit smoother transition. I'm more of a midfoot striker when I'm running, especially marathons. I think these are going to be really nice. So I'm super excited to put these on and put some miles in them, and talk to you a bit more about them once I've had an opportunity to do that. And then we'll compare all three of these shoes and kind of let you know where I think that each of them fall in that lineup of the AlphaFlies that Nike has thus far. I know what my feelings are between version 1 and version 2, but I haven't had a chance to put the miles in version 3 yet. So that's coming. And, I post running videos and training, recovery, gear reviews of all kinds on the channel all the time. So if you're into that kind of thing, or you're just a running nerd, you want to hang out with some other running nerds, again, consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you. Love to have you. All right. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow. Whew, man, these are awesome. These are just fantastic. Oh my gosh, I want to run in these so bad. I've got 4 weeks. I got 4 more weeks, according to my physician, before that they're gonna give me the okay to run. They're okay to run, or to start my return to run program. I'm planning to start my Chicago Marathon training block on June 24th. So maybe you guys can come back and we'll go through the Chicago Marathon training block together for 16 weeks. All right. Hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you later.